Hello again. Welcome to Everyday Hustle. Again, my name is Eric Hattie, and we're going to give this another go around. So last week we put a trial run up. I was getting acquainted with all my recording equipment, and now here we are. I've got much better lighting. I've got a better camera. I've figured out some dumb shit with all of the audio settings. I learned how to upload things to YouTube. So yeah, So occasionally I'm going to have a brain fart like that. I might edit it out. I might not. I don't know. Let's see. So Everyday Hustle is all about improving everything about your life, whether it's personal, professional, and everything in between. So one of the first examples that immediately came to my mind of who's this fucking guy and why does he think he could talk about all of these things? You know, I'm a firm believer you have to have, walk the walk to talk the talk. And I am in no way an expert in everything. But I've done a few things pretty good. And the first example that always comes to my mind is personal improvement, personal development. And it's funny because to be really good at personal improvement and development, first you have to be a total shitbag that, treats your body like a dumpster fire, which is exactly what I did the first 30 years of my life. So about 5, almost 6 years ago, I was 350 pounds. And I was okay with that. In fact, I was worse than that. I was a 3-pack a day chain smoker who ate fast food multiple times a day, lived on the road, doing regional sales. And it was, one drive through to the next. It was one giant 64-ounce soda to the next as I drove all across God's green earth, and was just ripping cigarette after cigarette after cigarette. And I was okay with that. I've always been known as the guy who doesn't really give a shit what other people think. And in a lot of ways I still am. It never bothered me. But I always said that as soon as I got a reason health-wise to stop treating my body like a dumpster fire, I would. So lo and behold, I was 30 years old. Just found out I had a child on the way. Went in for my annual physical that I got every year. And every year I did my little, end zone touchdown dance to all of my family members who said that I was, unhealthy, and was like, boo, yeah, everything looks good. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. And then when I turned 30, it was not good. In one annual physical, I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high liver enzymes. It was just a whole slew of shit. And the doctor basically said, you have 30 days to course correct this yourself. And then we'll rerun labs. And if you can't, then I'm going to put you on a whole rigmarole of prescriptions. So my wife, who insisted to come with me to every physical just to prove me wrong, was taking diligent notes of all the herbs and supplements and everything that the doctor said could naturally, make everything better. And I'm convinced that she was trying to season me from the inside out and get me ready to be cooked for like Thanksgiving dinner, because it was cinnamon and kelp, red rice, yeast. All kinds of crazy shit. It was like literally a handful of pills every single night. Fun fact, 30 days later, I go in and things were naturally starting to correct. And so didn't have to go on any prescriptions. And I don't know why, but a few weeks after that, it was actually, I can tell you exact date. It was July 15th of 2015. I'm driving down 121 in Frisco. And out of the corner of my eye, I see a Lifetime Fitness, and I don't know why, but my brain just said, hey, you should go check it out. So my fat ass goes strutting in khakis and a polo, with my gut hanging out over, and got a tour of this gym. I signed up. My plan was that I was going to swim laps a couple times a week, because when I was a kid, I was on the swim team and I absolutely loved it. It was super easy. It was enjoyable. I didn't think about how much I hated it as I was doing it. And so that's what I did. But being Eric Hattie, before I did that, I went on Amazon and I bought a waterproof iPod Shuffle with waterproof headphones, and all the nerdy swim training shit you could ever think of. So I had a snorkel. I had the webbed finger gloves. I mean, I looked like a fucking idiot, waddling out to the pool. But I did it. And so I'm swimming laps a couple times a week. I had cut, all fast food out. I was just trying to make little incremental changes. And I did start to see results. I probably dropped 10, 15 pounds in the first 2 weeks. It was crazy. It just fell off. And so I wanted to build off of that. I wanted to say, it's not good enough yet. I'm going to keep going. Let's see how far I can take this. So I was offered a free personal training session, at that gym. I took it. The guy's name is Imtazal. Cool fucking guy. Was super like accommodating to my stupid ass that had never stepped foot in a gym. I was super intimidated, not because of how I looked, but because I didn't want to do things wrong and kill myself and then be judged by the people. I didn't care how I looked physically. I cared how I looked. I wanted to look cool whilst also having good form. So at $100 an hour, once a week, I met with Imtazal for 6 months, and learned as much as I could from this guy. He was giving me pointers on how to eat. He was giving me, how to structure a workout, when to rest, when to push harder, when to go up in weight, and all the different ways that I could really challenge myself. And at about the 6 month mark, I realized that I had peaked at what I was going to learn from this guy. And so I just started doing it on my own, 6 days a week in the gym, constantly pushing to go faster, stronger, harder. And in a year, almost a year to the date, I lost 100 pounds. I went from 350 to 250, and I kept going. So that was July of 16. And in December of 16, I was at my lowest weight. I was at 217 pounds. And I was on top of the world. I was just loving every second of it. And then a curveball got thrown at me, because my daughter had been born. So to go back, I was a 3-pack a day chain smoker, until I met my wife. Actually, the night before our first date, I told her I was a smoker. She said it was a deal breaker, and I just put it down. I didn't smoke anymore. But I couldn't do the cold turkey. I was a real irritable asshole. So I started with an e-cigarette with the plan of walking my way down the nicotine levels, right? Except vaping, while douchey looking in nature, is fucking delicious and super convenient for a guy for the last 7 or 8 years of his life had to go outside every 15 minutes to smoke a cigarette. And now he could do it anywhere, everywhere. And sorry, government, but even on an airplane discreetly. It was awesome. So not only did I not wean myself down, I probably was bringing in more nicotine in a healthier way, I suppose. So anyway, fast forward to December of 16 or January of 17, was right in there. I decided I was going to quit nicotine altogether, and it was hard. It was fucking hard. And naturally I started snacking more, and I was doing healthy snacking. But there's no such thing as healthy when you're just like constantly putting, peanuts and, raisins and cranberries and shit in your mouth. I mean, like buy the Costco size bag, right? So all of a sudden that 217 was going up and going up. And all of a sudden these 3 brand new suits I had bought that I'd never felt better in, weren't fitting as well. And still to this day, I have struggled to get back down to that weight. And there's been a whole slew of things that, whether it was changing jobs and going from a road warrior type, driving everywhere, traveling position to a airplane everywhere. When I was driving everywhere, I was able to have my trunk just full of all my gym gear and, a little, like cocktail station of protein powders and pre-workout and BCAAs and all this shit. And now I'm going on an airplane where I'm trying to like put it in little baggies and I look like a drug dealer. I'm a stickler of I'm never going to check a bag if I don't have to. And so there's only so much you can fit in a carry-on. And when you're already bringing, dress clothes and then casual clothes to go out and then, everything in between, there's not a lot of room for workout gear. And so it started slipping more and more and more. And stress levels gone up and long story, I can make a million excuses, but the whole moral of this story is those excuses are just that. It's just bullshit. And maybe I'm just vocalizing this right now because I needed to hear it and I needed myself to say it out loud. But that's the funny thing about personal improvement is it's never done. And it's not always progress. There's regression and that's okay. I just babbled on for like 12 minutes, about this with really the only point is to brag about how fucking awesome I am that I lost all this weight. I'm kidding. It's no matter what you're trying to do to better yourself, there's going to be setbacks. There's going to be times where you just want to throw in the towel and give up. Actually, just the other day was one of those moments. I was being a whiny bitch because in this COVID-19 quarantine, I don't have my gym. And so I don't have my fancy machines and I don't have all the weights at my disposal to throw heavy weights around. Really in this house, I have some Amazon resistance bands and I've got a whole lot of suburb that I can go running through. And I fucking hate to run. I mean, I really, really hate to run. So I'm sucking it up. I'd gone almost 2 weeks without any working out whatsoever than a couple walks with my kid. I said, no, this is bullshit. It's starting every day off wrong. Working out is my way to get out my frustration, to clear my mind, to just start the day off right. I've always been first thing in the morning, I work out and I'm a creature of habit. I love my routines. So it's time to get back on that routine. So this morning, 5 a.m. the alarm goes off. I throw on my workout clothes. I drink some pre-workout. I go run 4 miles. And, lo and behold, where yesterday was a shit show, awful, I just hated everyone and everything. And I was just so pissed that my calendar was stacked top to bottom. Well, guess what? Today's calendar stacked top to bottom. Same silly corporate bullshit didn't bother me nearly as much. I was in a much better mood. And, that was infectious throughout the house too. My kid's not high strung if I'm not high strung. And, I can't stress enough that even when you feel like it's worth giving up, even when you feel like you're being held back or set back, just keep pushing, keep digging, and know that there may not be a finish line, but there's going to be milestones. So, I know what my next milestone is. And it's not even a number. It's not how much I weigh anymore, because that's bullshit. I was fitting back into those suits weighing 30 pounds more than, when they fit great the last time, but it was because I had put on more muscle. So the scale's just bullshit. It's a lying slut. Sorry, Mom. So anyway, 15 minutes in, maybe that's a good length. I don't know how long these things should go. I do want to say that I'll start bringing more guests in, as we get going through this. Right now it's a little tricky because I'm having to wait till late at night because that's when my kid's asleep and everything's wound down at the house and I'm not being interrupted and my phone's not ringing. So, you know, we're just like weight loss, this podcast is continuous improvement. So yeah. So the 4 of you that are listening to this, thank you. Always want feedback. You can follow me on Instagram. Wow. Holy shit. I just completely forgot my handle. So let's take a look here. So every_day_hustle_pod on Instagram. On Twitter, it's at EDH_podcast. You can go to my website, every-day-hustle.com. And for complete lack of continuity, just search Everyday Hustle on Facebook. These will be loaded there all simultaneously. You can find me on iTunes, soon on Spotify, or you can just go to the website and the YouTube link and a recording will be there for your listening or viewing pleasure. So once again, this is Everyday Hustle. I appreciate you listening. Look forward to talking to you guys again soon, and I promise the next one won't suck.